flying on water. We're on board the high-tech boat paving the way for hydrofoil ferries to make a return to Australia decades after they were scrapped from Sydney Harbour. Flying boats, not the type that actually take off, but hydrofoils which glide over the water, could be making an Australian return. It's been decades since hydrofoils were a regular sight on Sydney Harbour. Their potential replacements are sleek and high-tech, but pricey. Kari Greenbank has put them to the test.
They're high-tech, futuristic and have just started gliding across waters globally, with orders rolling in from the Maldives to Mumbai. So are these so-called flying ferries the way of the future for Australia? It's a beautiful day in Pittwater, north of Sydney's CBD. We're taking the flying ferry's smaller cousin out on the water.
We'll use the throttle, full throttle, and we'll lift onto the foils at 16 knots.
Rising up on hydrofoils, which work like underwater plane wings, it starts soaring over the waves. A strange sight, there's no wash, and it's an unusual feeling too.
It's mainly the fact we can have this conversation. If we're on any other boat, we're not only slamming and slapping, we've got a big loud engine behind us.
A quieter, modern version of Sydney's distinctive hydrofoils that took passengers to Manly from the 60s to the early 90s. Today, we're on board with Chris Rones and Mary Bickler from Carbon Yachts, Candela's Aussie supplier of this boat, the C-8, and soon the new commuter ferry, the P-12.
This is sort of testing the theory and seeing how it works and getting people to experience it. The P-12 takes it to the next level.
And what's the reaction been from people seeing this boat?
It's great. It's incredible. Everybody cannot believe what they're seeing. Such a big boat in full flight above the water.
While this electric boat was designed with a relaxing day on the water in mind, it's the ferry that Candela hopes will shape the future of water transport. What kind of interest have you had globally?
Yeah, it has been very strong, and we really see a truly global market. I mean, we have sales dialogues ongoing and all the way from Japan, New Zealand. We have already sold the ferry to. We have sold to both India and the Maldives, several different customers in Europe. Colombia was the last one.
The company's first ferry is running in Stockholm as part of the city's public transport system. It says it has 40 other orders and has now set its sights on Australia. Is there a push to have the P-12 introduced into specific routes?
Yeah, at the moment there's a lot of interest from the likes of Brisbane, then there's also interest from Lake Macquarie and Newcastle more recently. So we've been speaking to departments of planning in government about government-run routes, but then we've also been speaking to private operators who see an opportunity to shuttle guests or shuttle the local community around more efficiently as roads get more congested.
It's fully electric and seats 30 passengers. The company claims it costs 80% less to run than its diesel equivalent and can take commuters to their location twice as fast.
We mustn't damage the shoreline anymore. We don't want to be putting lots of diesel smells and noise into our beautiful waterways, and yet people want to get places fast and quickly. So I think it will bring water transport back.
But Candela is not the only boat in this race. Artemis is the brainchild of British sailor Ian Percy, who won his first of 2 Olympic gold medals on Sydney Harbour in 2000. He is also building foiling electric boats, and his first ferry went into service in the Orkney Islands off Scotland in May. Artemis has set its sights on replacing Sydney Harbour's renowned diesel ferry fleet. And Tasmanian builder Incat has recently launched the world's largest electric ship. It doesn't use foils, but it is very impressive. 130 metres long. It can carry more than 2,000 passengers and 200 cars and will soon ply the waters between Uruguay and Argentina. In a way, everything old is new again. Sydney's old hydrofoils were first launched 60 years ago. The boats were eventually replaced in the 80s and 90s due to growing mechanical problems and maintenance costs.
So for people who say, you know, we've had hydrofoils in Sydney before, back in the 1960s, they didn't work then, what do you say to that?
It's a completely different time now. Back then, they were diesel-powered, requiring a lot of maintenance, didn't make any practical sense. In this instance, it's been 11 years of research and development
There are downsides. Electric hydrofoil ferries are expensive and they're known to struggle with seriously big swells. In quieter waters, though, they can cruise at a speed of 25 knots.
Should we expect to see flying ferries here in Australia anytime soon?
Yeah, you should. We have several ongoing dialogues in Sydney for different customers.
Gustav says we may well see these hydrofoil ferries cruising our waterways as soon as the end of next year.
I've got so much to talk about this. First of all, how did Curry get that story?
And you didn't, that's what I was thinking,
That is my story. And secondly, I love foiling. I have a surfboard that foils. I do wing foiling. So you hold onto the wing, up you go on the surfboard, and it foils along, kind of like that.
I don't quite get how it works. What does it feel like? Do you feel like you're flying or surfing?
It's like I explained to you in the break, Niels. It's like that. And while you're gliding across the water, it feels magnificent. But the interesting part is it takes out all the chop.
It's a wonder I was still confused after that diagram, really. And isn't there tech like this already in sailboats?
Well, they have them on sailboats, yes. SailGP has them, and these boats fly. But the problem with those is it's quite technical. There's a lot of machinery, a lot of technology to make sure that all of the angles are just right. So to put them in a ferry that you want running 24/7 every day, that's going to be the problem.